Hello YouTube, this is Gizmo88, and this is like a cheat system review. Anyway, these are cheat systems. We have Game Genie, looks like that, and it's already got a game in it. Actually, I'll pull out for just a brief moment so we can kind of see what's got there. Hang on to that. Anyway, that's what it looks like without a game. So that. Well, anyway, this is the Game Genie for the Sega Game Gear, and the games go in there, in this slot here. And we have Game Shark for the PlayStation 2. Action Replay for the Nintendo GameCube. We have Game Shark for the Game Boy Advance. Action Replay DS. And Action Replay DSi. So quite a few different cheat systems there. But to start off with, the Nintendo Game Genie, Nintendo Game Boy Game Genie. There. Apologize about that. Anyway, with this system here, what you do is you take the game, pull this game out, set it right there. So you take your Game Boy. So here's your Game Boy. It's the Game Boy Color. It's smaller, but it still works. So anyway, you take your Game Boy, take your Game Genie, and you take them, and you just snap them in like that. Then when you put the game in, take your game, which normally you'd think it'd go this way, and it don't. You flip it over, just like that, and it just slides in. And then it just pushes in from there. You just turn your Game Boy on, comes on. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says Game Genie, inspired by, I believe that's what it is. Apologize there. Yeah, it's a Game Genie invented by Codemasters. Codemasters was like the original cheat systems too. Codemasters Game Genie. And it just brings you to a code screen, and this is very simple. You just put in a code, so we'll just put in something simple, and then we just press start, and then it would start the game. And I'm not going to do that because I don't know what that code's going to do, so you know what it means. So anyway, that's the Game Genie for the Game Boy. Move that. Now we'll talk about the Game Genie for the Game Gear. Now I'm not going to power this one up because it works the same way as the Game Boy. You just press the start button to start the games. But you put your game in here, it inserts, and then and something else I want to mention too before I actually get into this one. Because this one don't have the book, but there's actually a little spot here. Press in, pull it out. And there's a book, and it's a little pamphlet, and it's all kinds of cheat codes that are already in this book that's for this Game Genie. That was found when they built it, when they come up with it. But anyway, the Game Genie for the Game Gear, Sega Game Gear, that is. If there was a book, this right here would open, and then the book would be right there. But like I said, it don't have the book, so. But anyway, it has two buttons. This button here, which will take you back to the code screen, and I'm not sure exactly what this button here does, but it seems to work. You know, I haven't figured that out yet. Like I said, I just got this, so as I said in the last video. So yeah, this is also made by Codemasters. Any Game Genie device is going to be made by Codemasters, and even there's even some games. Most games, though, that are made by Codemasters are probably not going to be that good. Game Shark. This is the Game Shark for the Game Boy Advance. very good cheat device. And take the Game Boy Advance, this is the SP. Take it and hang it like this. There's your game system. Here's your Game Boy. You put it in with this side facing up. Then you look here on the back side, and there's where the game goes in. You stick the game in just like that. You just press it in. And then when you turn it on, see that. Oh, my bad. This has actually got a switch on it. Here to turn it on. Make sure it's turned on. And just like that. Let's say this product is not licensed or endorsed by Nintendo of America. Future console design, it gives a little bit of thing, and then it says working. And it brings up all your games, and then you get a list of games to choose from. And these are codes too, these just a little bit different, but they work. It works just like that. And then to remove it, it has these two buttons. There's one there and there's one on the other side. You just press it and pull it out. Pretty simple. And some designs will give you, something sporty, kind of like this thing right here. So, pretty, it works. Pretty ingenious idea. I'm going to talk about the game codes for the PlayStation 2. This is a Game Shark. See there, it says Game Shark. And what this is, open it here. It's basically a CD. It's filled with all kinds of codes, and you can put more on it. Saves on PlayStation 2 memory card. The book and stuff's all in the back, but I'm not going to open all that up. But anyway, so and this works the same way as like the one on the Game Boy Advance or anything like that. It uses codes. And then we have Action Replay Max for the Nintendo GameCube. This one works pretty well too. It uses codes. It's an Action Replay. Anything that says Action Replay now will use codes, and it does tell you at the bottom, this is not a game. Action Replay and DS and Action Replay DSi for the DS. I'm not going to really show them because they're pretty simple too. They work, They do have an update feature on these, so that you can update them. And this one you can actually put a card in. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it works pretty well. One thing I want to talk about is, before I end this review, the first one was Game Genie. Like I said, it was made by Codemasters. The last Game Genie, I think there was a Game Genie for the Nintendo. No, there wasn't one for the Nintendo 64. There was one for the Super Nintendo, and there might have been one that they did come out with for the Virtual Boy, but I'm not sure. But and then obviously there was one for the Sega Genesis. I don't think there was one for the Saturn. There was never one for the PlayStation either. But after Game Genie was discontinued, then Game Shark took over. And see this typical Game Shark logo with the shark. And they basically utilized the same thing that the Game Genies did. They used the code design and stuff. But it wasn't until later when they started using stuff like with the Nintendo Wii. You got the Wii Max Manager, which is it's all game saves now. That's the way they all are now, except for the exception of the DS. The DS still uses codes, but the rest of them uses saves. And so all of them, every one of these you see here use codes, but they did. All of them have went to saves now, so kind of got to bear with that. But anyway, so that concludes the review of Cheat Systems. Thanks for watching, and thank you.